Okay.
I have a breakfast.
Today we have our mini quiz on this line of best fit stuff.
Easy.
It's gonna be an easy quiz. These two problems are very similar to the two problems that are on your quiz. All your work last night is very similar to what's on your quiz today. So if you don't understand, make sure you ask us questions so that you can do well on your quiz. Everyone should have calculators out. Raise your hand if you still need a calculator. Okay. So last class we talked about lines of best fit. And this requires you to use your calculator. And the main button you're using is the stat button. The stat button is our key button. So if you forget what to do, hit stat and it might jog your memory. So on your calculator, that's this guy right here. Okay, are we all good? Let's take a look at how to do this one. Now there are two types of problems that we encounter. The first one says to write an equation of best fit. Alright, so the first type of question is write the equation of best fit.
My hair's not heavy.
The second equation says to predict a value. These are the two types of equations you'll get. One that says write the equation, there's two types of problems. One that says write the equation, and the other one that says to predict the value, or it'll say how much, or it'll ask you to find a certain value. This first one is where we just put into our calculator and then do len reg to find our equation. This next one, we do the same thing, but then we have to take it one step further and take this value and substitute it into our equation. Okay, so those are the two different types of problems. You always start off by finding your equation of best fit. Okay, so our first one says below is a table of data comparing a person's height and weight. The first one is our x. The second one is your y. And if you struggled on your homework, make sure you're paying attention right now because this is exactly how to do your quiz. Alright, x goes in list 1 and y goes in list 2. So we hit stacked and we want to edit our list. We're putting in new information, so we're editing them. Hit enter. Alright, now remember, we do not delete our list. We must clear them out. So I need to get rid of all these numbers.
I think we should go over that again because someone wasn't here.
So hit clear.
Yeah, we should.
And then arrow down. That gets rid of the entire list.
It's not letting me.
And then do the same thing for list 2. Go up to the top where it's highlighted, hit clear, and then either hit down or hit enter. Oh yeah, we already did that. Okay, so let's put our information in list 1. So we have 20, 31, 48, 59, 64, 68. And again, double check to make sure the numbers are correct. You don't want to lose points just because you put in the wrong numbers. And then same thing for list 2, our weight. 8, 7, 22, 50, 61, 120, and 140. Again, our list should be the same length, and let's double check our numbers. Looks good. Okay, so all we've done is taken those values and put it into the calculator, so the calculator knows what information to use. Now it says which equation most closely represents line, so we need to write the equation of our line. So again, stat is the button we use. So we hit stat. And we want to calculate our line of best fit. So we arrow to the right. And in here, we always use option 4. The one that says len reg, linear regression. When you take algebra 2, you'll use the other ones. But for right now, we're only using option 4. You can either hit 4 or arrow down to it. Now, if you have the older calculator, you just have to hit enter once. If you have the newer calculator, just keep hitting enter until you get down to calculate. Then hit enter one last time. Both of them will give you the same equation here. And we see we have y equals ax plus b. Well, instead of writing a, they gave us the numbers for a. And instead of writing b, they gave us the number for b. So we just put that into our equation. So y equals, and let's go to 2 decimal places, the hundredths. So ax would be 2.52, because the 9 makes the 1 round up, 2.52x, and then my b value, plus negative 54, or same thing as minus 54.94. And that's it. That's my answer. So again, the stat button is our biggest friend. Stat edit, stat calculate, and your regression option. Great questions on that one? Yes. Because it says 2.519 and 519, we want to round to the second decimal place. So we look over. Since 9 is larger than 5, that makes 1 round up to 2. So if it's 5 or higher, then it rounds up to the next number. Yeah, so only the number right before it. So like if I had 2.746, 6 is higher than 5, so that makes the 4 round up to 5.
What?
Thank you. Other questions on this one?
No.
Okay, so now number
Do the second one.
8, sorry it goes 9, 8. This one is the same idea. We need to first find our line of best fit, and then we're going to
Stop.
predict a value.
What? Stop! I don't like that.
We are.
To fight. Yeah, I'm about to stand up.
All right. So again, we have to change our list. We have new information. It says the recommended maximum heart rate during exercise is found in the table below. Write a prediction equation that relates age to heart rate. These are actually pretty accurate-ish. Predict the recommended heart rate for a 78-year-old. You guys know anybody that's actually that old?
Oh,
Me.
yes.
Mine.
You?
I got mine.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were that old.
Wow.
That's precious.
She's 85.
What? That's pretty cool. Okay, so we need to put in our new information. So again, stat, edit. And I need to arrow up and hit clear.
Fleet delete.
Don't hit delete.
I always do that.
Me too.
I always
Don't do delete.
If it doesn't happen anything in the box.
If you delete, you lose your lists.
No,
I
you
showed you
don't.
that, right, last time?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did show you,
And
and
you-
it was a
and you-
scary time, right?
No.
No.
And you show us you show us like a bunch of stuff that you have
How
to
to
do
get
to
it
get
back?
it back.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to get it back.
She did not show us how to get it back.
Yeah, she did.
No, she didn't. She closed the.
Didn't you show us that?
I showed you, yeah, I closed it at first, but then I showed you.
It was a lot.
Okay,
What I want.
so our first row is X,
Framing.
our bottom row is Y, so this is list 1, list 2. So my age, X is 25, 56, 33, 66, 37, 22, 29. And then my heartbeats per minute, 195, 164, 187, 154, 183, 178, and 191. So this is heart rate, maximum heart rate. So that's when you're actually doing like physical activity. Right now, your resting heart rate is probably somewhere around 60, 70. Okay, so make sure your lists are the same length. Double check your numbers. Looks good. Yep. And remember, those 2 seconds it takes to double check is worth the time to make sure it's right.
Right.
Alright, so stat,
That here. Yeah.
Calculate.
Down.
option 4.
Okay, down.
Keep hitting enter.
Yeah. Yeah. One more time.
Stat,
I swear there's a shorter way.
calculate, option 4. calculate it.
It took me a while to learn.
You do it. Okay, so let's write our equation.
Miss, I have a
Yes.
question. Smart graph. Miss Graph. How many numbers do I have to put in the A?
When we write out our equation here. So go to 2 decimal places. The hundredths, that's 2 decimal place, 2 after the decimal place. Go to 2.
Only 2,
Only 2.
and then the next
Last time I
one,
made you do 3, but we're gonna make
But-
it do 2.
the next one, if it gives me another number to and
We'll look at the third number. So we'll do this one together. All right, so we have y equals, and instead of a, we're going to put this number in. Now, our number is negative 0.801. So my third number is 1. Since that's less than 5, we leave it alone. So it's 0.80. And I have x
What's wrong with you?
plus b. So this number, I have 209.536. So 209 positive 0.5. And then I look at my third number. 6 is bigger than 5, so that makes 3 go up. If it's 5 or bigger, it makes the
4.
previous number go up.
If it's
What
five,
if I just put it like it's right there? Do we get the answer wrong? And then it's
Since we're making you go to 2 decimal places, you shouldn't get your answers wrong, because a lot of times it'll be multiple choice. We're making you go a little bit further, so that way you don't miss it due to rounding. So you should be fine. Even if you just cut it at the end, you should be fine. Okay? So this is my equation. But it asked us not just, it says write an equation, but then it says predict the recommended heart rate for 78-year-old. Alright, so the number they give us is 78.
Nope. Yes, please stay let me down. I'm fine.
78. And this represents what? The age or the heartbeats per minute? Age. 78 years old, that's my age. So this is an X value. Alright, so I'm taking 78 and I'm going to put that in for X.
That's how my coworker did my
Negative
homework yesterday.
0.80 times 78 plus 209.5. And I put that in my calculator.
Oh my god, no.
You just run your calculator.
It's logged.
Oh, but you can do it.
Negative
So it says
0.
predict the heart rate for 78-year-old. 78 years old, that's my age. So that's my X value they gave me. So they gave me X. So I put that into X in my equation.
147.
I'm gonna find Y.
Kaya.
So it says predict the heart rate. So when it says predict, they're going to give you information. You take that and put it into your equation to find your answer. Alright, so negative 0.80 times 78 plus 209.54.
147.
147.14. Yep,
But I got like 303.
yeah, 300. Did you have the same equation?
I
No,
guess so.
not even close.
You're not looking.
So double check your numbers.
It's 300.
What'd you say?
Solo lo añadís, ajá. Master. El celedito de la clase. My friend did it for you.
Yeah, I did
That's
it.
our answer. Yeah, so this is our answer here, 147.14. Now, they'll tell you what to round to, and a lot of times it's multiple choice, so you just look to see what's closest in your answers. Since we're talking about heartbeats, we usually when we talk about heartbeats, we don't have partial heartbeats. We don't talk about the decimal value of a heartbeat. So this one we would just round to the nearest whole number. So it's 147.14, which would round to just
Lisa, if
147.
you don't round your numbers, are you gonna get the answer wrong?
On your
That's
quiz,
what
it's
I was
multiple
asking.
choice. So you pick the one that's closest.
So
to it.
yes or no?
But even though
You
you
say
pick
yes
the
or
one,
no.
even though you
Yes.
pick the
Oh
one,
yeah.
even
Wait,
though you
I don't know what was the question.
Like, if you don't round your numbers,
my
are
god.
you gonna get your answer wrong?
You'll lose
Yes
partial.
or no?
You'll lose partial credit if you don't round it.
But like, are you still gonna get your answer right?
You
Yes
should
or
still
no?
get, as long as you go part way, you
It's
should still
gonna be
get the
close.
answer correct. you'll lose some partial
mira.
points.
Depende de
Her
cuál sea
answer, she
igual.
wanted to know
Si-
if it's
si
going to,
digamos,
yes or
la
no.
mera mía no es
Yes, you will
54,
lose points.
y no hay ahí en
That
el
was-
multiple choice. Y hay una de
Yes,
53,
you won't lose
52,
points. Oh,
vas a ver
no.
I
la
said
que
yes,
es
but
más
it's
cerca de
really
54.
See, she's
Fácil,
talking.
y a ver.
If you're talking, how can you understand?
So if you don't round, Louise, like you have to be careful. You don't want to leave this. You don't want to say like point. You don't want to say 1.0 because that's rounding too much. You don't want to just say 209. You want to go a little bit after the decimal place. So just go 2 numbers past it, cut it off, and write that down. Just 2. Solo
Y
dos.
si el otro está más grande
Ooh, Spanish.
que el otro que los dos que elegiste,
Alright, and so again, you have multiple choice for these, so go to whatever's closest to it.
okay.
Only 2
Are you
questions.
ready?
Only 2 questions.
In the test,
On the quiz.
on the quiz.
On the quiz.
Right now?
We're going to do homework questions first,
Oh my
and then the
god.
quiz. Because the homework questions are the same stuff. So what I was saying is that heartbeats, when you take your heart rate, we normally don't talk about partial heart rate. So we'll tell you what to round to. I was telling you just now that heart rate is rounded to the nearest one. But it'll say in the problem what to round to. And again, guys, these problems, just like on your homework, were mainly multiple choice. So
Hubiera sido
when we don't tell you, round to 2 decimal places. When it's multiple choice, pick whatever's closest. Yes. Not yet. Do you have your agenda? They're making us use your agendas for everything.
Oh.
Even across the hallway. They said in our last meeting, even across the hallway, to use your agendas. Okay, other questions on the warm-up? Okay, so let's take a look at your homework then. Okay, so we have standard form today. This is a new form. Before, we have previously been working with y equals mx plus b. Does anyone remember what this was called?
Line of equation.
Slow.
Intercept.
Intercept form, yeah.
I
It is the
did.
equation
Ow.
of y. So this was called
That's
slope
why I give you the
intercept
apple,
form.
so you can have more energy.
Anybody know why this was called slope intercept? Yes, it is.
I'm done.
Crystal, did you pass back the notes? Jordy, did you pass back the notes?
No, he
Who's
didn't.
writing in all of
Sorry. Thank you, Jordy. Okay, so slope intercept form, the reason why it was called this is because we had the slope and the y-intercept. Slope intercept. So that's the equation that we've been using all along. We now have a new form of this equation. Our new form is called standard form, and that's what this is. So this is standard form. This one is not as common, but it's still important to know. It depends on how much you like solving equations.
Is he asking me to show him?
In this new formula, we have to get it in this format where x comes first, then y, then our constant.
Frequently use the other one more often, and because that's the one with
He's just saying,
Yeah.
like, in
and you can't really use for graphing.
You can, but not easily, yeah.
Yay.
Okay, so in our equation, just like always, for x is always x, and y is always y. Alright, so we have some rules. Just like with slope-intercept form, we had some rules where slope had to come before x and y-intercept was at the end. Our rules for standard form, your leading coefficient must always be positive. Your leading coefficient must always be positive. Anybody know what a coefficient is? Does anyone know what a coefficient is? Cindy? Yes! That's exactly it! It's your number next to the variable. It's a number in front of your variable. So our coefficients would be A and B. So for example, if I have 2x plus 3y equals 5, my coefficients are 2 and Now, our leading coefficient, that's just the very first coefficient. So the coefficient, this is going to be your A value, the one that's in front of x. The leading coefficient is the first one. So the one that's in front of x should always be positive. So whatever coefficient is in front of x needs to be positive. If it's negative, we have to change it.
How?
By multiplying by a negative. Okay, number 2, the other rule. A, B, and C must be
Negative.
integers. Integers. A, B, and C must be integers. Integers. Now, who remembers what an integer is?
I forgot about it, but
Jimmy? It's a whole number that includes both negatives and positives,
Oh my God,
and we have
wait.
0. So integers are going to be our negative numbers, like -3, -2, -1.
so it can be 4.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. It keeps going forever and ever. And all of our positives as well. It's all the whole numbers.
Oh,
All the whole numbers. Negatives and positives.
so it can be a fraction.
So it can't be a fraction. This means no fractions and no decimals. Very good. You guys are on it today.
Oh, yeah.
It's Monday.
Yeah, I know some of you can see it. But yes, so they must be integers. That's positive and negative whole numbers and 0. So no fractions, no decimals. If we have those, we have to get rid of them. And I'm going to show you how to do that today.
He wants the apple.
All right, any questions so far?
That's love right there. Sharing food. Sharing food.
All right, let's take a look at our first example. Number 1 says 3 minus y equals -4x.
You have to change.
We need to get it in the right format. Remember, ax plus by equals c. A way to help you remember this, it goes in alphabetical order. A, B, C, X, Y.
And X
You would
and
this
Y
one.
are also not that.
Please subscribe.
Okay, so we need to move, what do we need to move?
3.
We need to move our 3, and what else do we need to move? Our 4x, right? We need to get our 4x over and our 3 over. Since we need our x to be positive, let's go ahead and move that first, right? Let's add it to both sides. So that way it's positive. Can I combine 4x with anything?
No. No.
No.
Why not?
Because they don't have the same like.
Right, there are no like terms. So we have 4x plus 3 minus y equals what?
0.
0. Right now it's 0. Because negative 4x plus 4x is 0. Alright, and then what else did we need to move?
3.
The 3. And how do we move that?
Negative.
Right, subtract 3 from both sides. Why am I moving the 3? Why am I not moving the y?
Because it's supposed to be in.
Yeah, it needs to be in this format. And this number here is my constant, the number with no variable with it. A constant. Good, so we have 4x. That cancels out. Minus y equals -3. All right. Is my leading coefficient positive?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, my leading coefficient is what?
X.
4, the number in front of x. Good. So my leading coefficient, 4, is positive, so we're good there. Do I have any fractions?
No.
Do I have any decimals?
No.
Is this our answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So double check. Make sure that your number in front is positive, that there are no fractions and no decimals. If it's negative, then we would multiply everything by -1 or divide everything by -1. We'll do one like that.
How?
We'll do one like that. Do one like that. All right, questions on this one? Okay. So let's take a look at the next one. All right. X equals y. Again, we need to get it in the form. Let's everyone say it together.
AX.
AX
Plus
plus
BY
equals C.
C. Good. All right, so x equals y. What do we need to do?
Move Y.
Move y. All right. We need y to be on the left side
Yeah.
of my equation. Left side of my equals.
Negative
Left
y.
I'll let you scare them.
Mhm.
Arriba.
I'll let you scare them of the equals.
No.
No? It's
Yes.
not left?
No.
Yes, it
No,
is.
it's not.
She just
the
wants you to
right
be
is
wrong.
right.
For those,
He has been gone for a while. Okay, so let's subtract my y over. Alright?
Back to zero.
So you stop worrying about him, worry about you.
Good. Good! X minus y equals 0. What is my leading coefficient here?
X. Oh,
1, 0.
negative.
1.
1. Yeah, the number in front of x is
1.
1. So my leading coefficient's 1. It's positive, so we're good there. Are there any fractions?
No.
Any decimals? So here's your answer. Look who decided to come back. Okay, any questions on number 2? Alright. Next up. Y equals negative 2x plus 3. Hey.
Wait, can we
Before we start going crazy with standard form,
do that way, like go that way instead of coming this way?
No.
before we go into standard form, what type of equation is this? Slope intercept, yeah. So if I told you to graph this line, what would my y-intercept be? 3. What would my slope be? Negative 2. Yeah, see, it ties together. Slope or standard form is just another variation of writing slope intercept. Okay, so Christelle asked a great question. She said, instead of moving my y over, can I just add my 2x? And I said, yeah, let's do that. We need our 2x to be positive,
Yeah.
right?
That's what I was doing.
Yeah, let's do that. So let's add 2x. And then Cornell, can I combine 2x and y?
No, it's not the same variable.
Very good. Not like terms. So I have 2x plus y equals
3.
3. Is my leading coefficient positive?
Yeah.
Do I have fractions?
Yeah.
Do I have decimals?
No.
Is this my answer?
Yeah.
Wait.
Isn't this nice?
Yes, ma'am.
I like Louise's answer better.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Alright, so we've been kind of nice to you. We haven't given you any fractions yet.
No, now you want to beat me.
Yeah.
Let's do some fractions. 5.
You know what? Let's do number 5 first.
There's 2 5 here.
There, yeah, there's 2 4s, 2 5s, and 2 6s.
Why did you do that?
I didn't mean to. Wait, which 5 do I want to do? I want to
Do
do...
this 5.
Yeah, I want to do this 5. Then we'll do the next 5. I like that other 5. Okay, I want to show you what to do if you have a negative in front of x. Now, we know that we can avoid it. How could we avoid it actually here? How could we avoid a negative for my x?
Oh, you move it to the other side.
Yeah, we move everything else. But suppose we didn't do that. And let's say we moved our x over, so we have minus 5x
Move 9.
minus 5x. Can I combine anything here?
No.
No. So negative 5x plus y minus 9 equals
0.
0. Remember, we have to get it in this form, ax plus by equals c.
Move 9.
Move our 9, and how am I going to move my 9?
Plus.
Good. Add 9 to both sides. So negative 5x plus y equals 9. Now, what's my issue here?
You have a negative.
We have a negative. We don't like negatives. You can't have a negative in front. So what we can do is either multiply by negative 1 or divide by negative 1. What do you guys want to do? Multiply or divide? Multiply.
Divide.
We'll do both.
No.
Just do multiply. Multiply.
You guys want to multiply?
Yeah.
Just multiply?
Let's just stop here.
Alright, so if we multiply by negative 1, we have to do it to both sides. Right? That's the rule for equals. You have to do the same thing to both sides. So multiply by -1, and multiply by -1. Who remembers what I have to do with this -1 though?
You put it through everyone. A distributor thing.
Yeah, we have to distribute
Wow,
it.
Crystal, you're really smart.
What?
We're working on number 5. Alright, so when we distribute this, -1 times -5? Positive 5x. -1 times +1 what?
-1.
-1. And 9 times -1?
-9.
-9.
That's it.
Notice it's not positive in front, no fractions, no decimals.
That's it.
That's it.
Wait.
If I were to have divided this, let me show you what would happen if we divide it for those that like to know. -5x plus y equals 9. If I would have divided by -1 on both sides, again, we have to do I heart division. -5 divided by -1 is positive 5. 1 divided by -1 is -1y. And 9 divided by -1 is -9. You get the same answer either way. It's whichever you prefer. Alright, questions on that?
Oh, this one is easier.
You
Divide.
probably prefer the multiplication with distributed.
I think the division is easier.
After we do a fraction,
Come
then we'll take
on.
a 2-minute
Too much math.
break. So much good math. Okay.
Crystal.
So now let's look at a difficult one. Number 5, the other number 5. This one's one of my favorites.
No, it's ugly.
Alright, we've got fractions. We've got 2/5 and we have 1/2. Need to get rid of those fractions. Somebody remember how we get rid of fractions?
Oh.
No, the butterfly.
Butterfly.
Oh.
What is?
I was thinking.
Multiply! Yes, very good.
2 times 1?
So we need to multiply to get rid of it. Remember, back when we first started doing solving, if I had 1/3 x equals 5, we would have multiplied by 3 on both sides, right? So we're doing a similar idea. Now, I'm going to give you a trick for knowing what to multiply by.
Okay.
In my equation here, if I multiplied by 5, that would have only gotten rid of this piece here. But we need to get rid of both denominators. If I would have multiplied by 2, that would only get rid of this one here. But I need to get rid of both of them. So what we have to do is basically multiply by 5 and multiply by 2. But let's just do it in one step. Alright, what are my denominators? 5 and 2. What is 5 times 2?
10.
10. So this is what we're going to multiply by. That will get rid of both denominators in one step. Alright?
Wait, what?
So when I multiply by 10, that will get rid of both of my denominators in one step, rather than having to do 2 steps. So let's do this one together, and I'll go slowly through it so you can see what happens. Okay, so again, I have 5 and I have 2, so I'm multiplying by 10. I have to multiply both sides by 10. Right? In order to keep it equal, we have to multiply both sides by 10.
2 times 2.
Okay, so now when you use your calculator to help you out, make sure you use what around your fraction?
Parentheses.
Parentheses. I'll even show you up here.
Oh my god.
So 10 times, okay, just like we did before, what do I have to do with this 10?
Distribute.
Distribute it, yeah, right.
-1.
There's 2 pieces here, right? Alright, so let's do the first one. 10 times 2/5.
20.
You have to put that in parentheses.
4
Can we get
for x.
4? Good. So I have 4x. And then 10 times -1/2?
-5.
-5y. And what's 10 times 7? 7. Is my leading coefficient positive?
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Do I have fractions or decimals?
No. It's easier.
How? Where do you got the 10 from?
The 10 from
So,
5 times 2.
Again, the 10. How we got the 10?
5 times 2.
Oh,
I need
you
to
have
get
to
rid
only
of
do the one to the
both of
bottom.
my denominators. I have to get rid of both my denominators. If I would have multiplied by 5, that would have only gotten rid of my 5. If I would have multiplied by 2, that would have only gotten rid of my 2. Yeah. So when we're multiplying here, Jenny, the same thing as 10 over 1. So 10 times 2 is 20, divided by 5 is 4. That's where it comes from.
We need number 4.
I
Number
understand
4?
math.
All right.
No, 6.
I remember 3.
Wait, is it after
Please,
this?
after
Yeah.
Okay,
Take
we'll
a
give you
break.
a 2-minute break, and then we'll do number 4.
Put the time.
5 minutes.
No, I.
Okay. All right. Phones away.
Please.
Back on track.
I'm amazed.
Seguro. Palabra del maestro. Okay.
I see you guys are on Thursday from midday. So I think we're learning that stuff. Because it's okay. So let's take a look at number 4. The one right before what we just did. So I want everyone to make sure they're on this problem. Do we all find it? Give me thumbs up when you found it on your page. Luis, did we find it yet? Jordy, did you find it? Sultan, did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 plus
okay.
4.
No times. Not.
Okay.
Parentheses.
8.
So we need to get it in standard form.
2 times 4.
Wait, why?
AX
6.
plus BY equals C.
Careful,
Parentheses.
Luis.
Parentheses.
We will need to use parentheses. Okay, Krista. What are my 2 denominators you see?
2 and 4.
And what is 2 times 4?
8.
That's what we're going to multiply by. Okay? And we multiply both sides.
Parentheses.
Oh,
Multiply by 8.
Distributing.
You know, I like moving whole numbers instead of fractions, so after that, then we'll move stuff.
Equals
You
4.
can move things first and then multiply, but I don't like rewriting fractions a bunch, so I'm going to get rid of my fractions first. Okay. What's 8 times what?
4. 8 times Y.
Boy.
8 times y is 8y. Okay, Luis, what's 1/2 times 8?
4.
Good. What is 3/4 times 8?
Negative 3.
Close.
Negative 2 4.
That's negative 6.
Good, negative 6.
They're fighting.
It's negative 6.
Negative 6.
Oh,
Now
we're
we have
not
to
done.
put
We're
in-
not done.
Now
We're
we
not
have,
done yet.
we have to put it in order, right?
Yeah, we've got to get in the right
But
order.
it's
What do
gonna
you guys
give you.
wanna
It's
do?
gonna give you negative. Excuse me.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of options here. Sultan, you with me? If we move our 4x over, then it becomes negative, right?
Yeah.
Let me show you something else you can do. Instead, let's move my y and my 6 over. Now let me show you, so everyone watch, and then you can write down, okay? So I want to keep my 4 positive. So I'm going to subtract my 8y.
We get Y.
I'll show you in a second. So I have 0 equals 4x minus 6 minus 8y. And then I'm going to add my 6 over. Okay, so I have 6 equals 4x minus 8y.
We'll just flip
Okay.
the same.
And then, can't we just flip the equation around?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have 4x minus 8y equals 6. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
Took this piece and just flipped the sides of the equation. So if you prefer, you can do that instead. That keeps 4x positive.
Yeah.
Make sure you remember when you subtract 8y from 8y, you get 0. Don't
Yes,
stop.
don't lose your 0 there. That's what everyone likes to do. Poor 0, he always gets forgotten about. Everyone thinks he just disappears into thin air. He's important. He's very important.
0.
Hey, what did the 0 say to the 8? Nice belt.
Nice belt.
For this, like,
I get it.
more
like corset with how tight it
Nice belt.
Here's his belt.
Next,
If you take the 0 and put a belt around it,
I got a nice belt.
then it's like an 8.
it's Gucci belt.
Ew.
300 something. 300 and something for that.
We're gonna have a conversation.
200 for those boots.
Okay.
Seguro. 170 Juan me costaron.
All right. Questions on this one?
Tal bebe.
Do you guys understand what I did there?
So,
So you can do that instead if you prefer.
are you serious?
Move everything else over and then just switch your equation at the end.
Oh, I thought you
Just
said
make sure your final answer.
Gucci.
For this one, I paid $250. For the other one,
Make sure your final answer matches standard form.
Something is wrong with them.
Okay. Let's take a look at one that has a decimal, and then we'll do the bottom.
6.
Cover the thing.
6.
Excuse me.
6.
We leaving. Oh my god. In a bag.
Okay. Number 6. I'm gonna set it up for you, and then we'll go from there.
Oh god.
We've got decimals.
Oh
my
god.
god.
We're getting
Oh
decimals.
god.
What are we
Let's
gonna do with that?
instead turn it into fractions, because we know how to get rid of fractions, right?
Look at him.
He even when I was switching my pencil, he hit me in the head.
Oh my, it's
We
got me.
really need to keep you back there, don't we?
No.
But I can't see even with my glasses.
Okay. How do I turn these into fractions?
No.
I'm sitting on the front.
Who remembers how I turned this into a fraction?
Oh, put it in and you click math. Math.
Good. Math.
Fraction.
Fraction.
Enter. Enter.
Enter. So 0.3 is?
3.
Wait, what are you doing? Oh my goodness.
So I take my decimal and I put it into my calculator, 0.3. And I want to change that into a fraction. So math, fraction.
Oh, 310.
4 is 2.
Oh, she used it about what? Oh my god.
What's the next one, Luce?
It's negative.
4 tenths?
Negative point.
Oh, wait, 2 fifths?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Good.
Negative 2.
Negative 2 fifths?
No?
5. Yeah, you're
Okay,
right.
plus-
Yeah.
Look.
Oh, because there's the
0.4,
minus right here.
nine.
Look, right there's the minus.
Oh, yeah.
I just brought that down.
Negative 2 fifths.
Okay. And what's 7.5? Did you put 0.4 in? 0.4?
15 over 2.
15 over 2.
So you can put in negative 0.4. And that gives you what? Negative 0.4. Change it to a fraction. Negative 2 fifths. Okay, what was 7 times?
15 over 2.
15 over 2?
Oh, yeah.
Alright. We've got a big one here, guys. What are my denominators that I see?
That's 50. 10.
Times
10 and
5. Negative 5. 2.
2. We've got 3 different ones.
Oh.
Alright, what does all of that multiply together?
100.
Is it 100?
Yeah. I didn't know my head.
Very good. Alright, so we're multiplying by 100 here. Does everyone see what I just did? We have to take each different denominator.
This is hard.
Alright? So then I multiply everything by 100.
It's just too hard.
Jack.
This is more work.
Yeah, it just takes time. Alright, what's 100 times 3 tenths?
30.
What?
Yes.
Oh.
What's 100 times
Negative 40.
Yes. Most certainly. What was this one? Good.
750. 750.
15 times 100 over 2.
750.
750. Oh, that gave us a really big one, didn't it? Yeah.
And all we have to well, we will.
Simplified.
That way.
Okay. See how that gave us a really big number? Let me show you the easier way.
Are we?
There's something else that's actually, without even having converted with these, with decimals. How many decimal spaces do I have in each of those? How many numbers are my decimal? 0.3, how many numbers are in my decimal? 1. 0.4, how many numbers are in my
1,
decimal? 1.5, how many numbers are in my decimal?
2,
In my decimal? 1. So, if I multiply, how many, that means, remember when I say round to 10th place, how many decimals is that?
5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
So for each 0 is a decimal. So if I multiply it by 10, 10 has 1 0, the decimal goes.
So it's only 1.
That's him and them body. I told you you never answered.
Okay. Alright, so let's show you another way here. Guys, we have the denominators of 10, 5, and 2. If I multiply by 2, that gets rid of this one, right?
Yes.
If I multiply by 5, that gets rid of this one. If I multiply by 10, if you multiply by the largest denominator, 10, what is 10 will get rid of this one, and this one, and this one. Because
Is that another
10,
way to do it?
that's another way to do it, yeah.
Don't confuse us, cause like when you show a lot of things, then
you got confused.
Okay, so what's 10 times 3 tenths?
A las 5. Mañana no. Mañana no.
What's 10 times 2 tenths?
Excuse me?
And what is 10 times 15 halves?
Oh, you just take away the 0. Yeah, so if you look at that,
Yeah,
all
just
of
open
those
a zero.
numbers were just at one decimal.
Yeah, so see that difference?
Every 0 you push into 10. So if it was 2 decimal places, you do 100, and those 2 decimals go that decimal comes over. So you didn't have to do about that.
The reason why we could do that here is because 10 is a multiple of 2 and 5. 2 times 5 is 10. This last one that we did, so 5 is not a multiple of 2. 2, we have to multiply these together.
This is not
to
a
get the
final
multiple.
answer.
What's that? That's our final answer. This one. Okay, so we want to simplify it as much as we can. Before that, we had 30x minus 40y equals 750. They each have that 0 on the end. Same thing as the 3x minus 4 equals 75. Yes, Judy?
So whenever you have to times it by 3, it's probably.
What more so it is, Jenny, is that my denominators here are 10, 5, and 2. See how 2 times 5 is 10? So we really didn't need to multiply by an extra 10. We could have just multiplied by 10 in the first place. But for this first one, 5 and 2, those are multiples of each other, so we had to multiply by 10 there. So if one of your denominators is just the other two multiplied together, just take your largest denominator.
Okay.
Alright, questions on that?
No.
Okay, let me go and give you your homework.
Why?
Because homework's important. Just remember, vertical lines are vucks and horizontal lines are what? Like these ones, these are y equals because they're horizontal. Vertical lines are x equals. Okay, that's a key thing to remember. Okay, I want to take a look at a couple more here. So let's see. Let's go with another decimal one. Alright, number 7 there. So I like what Miss Charlotte was saying here. What she was saying was just take a look at how many places after the decimal we have. So here for number 7 we have 2 after the decimal, 2 after the decimal, and 2 after the decimal. So think of that as how many decimal places, or how many zeros to have after 1. Since we have 2 after the decimal, that's the hundredths place. So we want to multiply by 100. If I multiply each side by 100, then it actually eliminates our decimals for us. So 100 times 0.6 is 60x. 100 times 2.13y is 213y. And 100 times 1.84 is 184. Notice that immediately eliminated our decimals for us. So depending on how many places you have after the decimal, it's how many zeros we're going to multiply by. So multiply by 100 for 2 afterwards. If we would have looked at number 6 here, what Miss Charlotte was saying was that we could have just multiplied by 10 based upon the fact that we have 1 after the decimal place. So 1 0 after that would be 10. Also, I think to make things a little bit easier for us, what we're going to do for our anytime we have fractions is just multiply by whatever the largest denominator is. So for number 6 here, our largest denominator was 10, so multiply by 10, and then if that doesn't get rid of all your denominators, you might have to do it again to get rid of another one. And we'll make sure we do that in a warm-up, just to double check there. But that ensures that you get the simplest form here without having to reduce it, without having to get the 30x minus 40 and having to reduce it down to that. So for now, we're just going to go ahead and say multiply by whatever the largest denominator is. All right. Okay, so we're almost done with 7. We need to get it again in that form, ax squared plus, sorry, that's algebra 2. Okay, we're now right. We need to get in the form ax plus by equals c. All right. So we have our 60x over here. We need to subtract our 213y. And then we have 60x minus 213y equals 184. All right. Again, our leading coefficient is positive. There are no fractions, no decimals, so that's our final answer there. Okay, let's take a look what else we have. All right, number 8, it says to write the equation, again, in standard form. Well, we have some information given to us, right? We've got our slope, and they gave us a point, x and y. And our previous form that we knew was y equals mx plus b. Right? All right, so let's go take the information we have and substitute it in. We have 4 for m, 6 for x, and negative 7 for y. So negative 7 equals 4x. Oh, x is 6, so let's put in 6 there. 4 times 6 plus b. And when we solve for b, let's see, this becomes positive 24. So subtract my 24. And we get negative 31 equals b. Okay, so my equation then that I have is y equals, my m again was 4, 4x minus 31. Okay, again we need to get that in standard form. Right now it's currently in slope intercept. We need to get in this form ax plus by equals c. Alright, so I like to keep my 4x positive here, so I'm going to go and subtract my y over. So I have 0 equals 4x minus 31 minus y. And then move my 31 over, so add 31. So I get 31 equals 4x minus y. Now we're almost there. We just need to flip our equation around here using that symmetric property. So I'm taking this and just flipping it across that equals. So I have 4x minus y equals 31. Leading coefficient is positive, no fractions, no decimals. That's our final answer. So we got it first in y-intercept and slope-intercept form to solve for b. And then we use that to convert it to standard form. All right, let's see what else we have here. Another one here, finding slope. So again, our equation for slope is y2 minus y1, so negative 10 minus 5, over x2 minus x1, so 3 minus a negative 2. That becomes plus a positive, so negative 15 over 5, which reduces to negative 3. And we have to solve for our b value, so we have y equals negative 3x plus b. Let's take our values and put in. We know that m is negative 3. I'm going to go and pick my first equation here. This is x, this is y. So x is negative 2. So we have negative 3 was my m. times -2. And my y value was 5. Okay, so now when we solve, we get 5 equals positive 6 plus b. Subtract my 6, I get -1 equals b. Okay, so my equation then is y equals -3x minus 1. And we have to get it in standard form. These are one of our longer ones. Ax plus by equals c. Alright. Need to move our x over, so plus 3x. Oh, this one went faster. So 3x plus y equals 0. -1. Leading coefficient is positive. No fractions, no decimals. 4 down. Okay, so back to these real quick. Remember, these are horizontal lines here, which means we're using the or. When we have a horizontal line, it's y equals. So each of my equations here are going to be y equals, y equals, y equals 8. Y equals 1, 2, 3, 4. So y equals 4. B is at a y-intercept of 1, so y equals 1. And C is at a y-intercept of -3, so y is -3. That's it. We're just reminding you of writing those horizontal line equations. Similarly with our vertical lines. Vertical lines means x equals. Each of these is x equals. Alright, D that has an x-intercept at -5. E, x-intercept at -2. And F, an x-intercept at +3. Those are our equations. Great. So then they ask us to write the equation of the vertical line and the horizontal line that passed to this point. Now remember, vertical line is just x equals, which means we just take the x value for my coordinate. If it goes through the point 3, 1, then my x value has to be 3. And for a vertical line, my equation is x equals, so x equals 3. Horizontal line, we have y. That's y equals. So my horizontal line is going to be y equals, and I just take the y value. Y equals 1. Not too bad there. Vertical line, bucks, x equals. Horizontal line, y equals. Same thing with each of these. Again, vertical line is bucks. So we have x equals -2. Horizontal line, so y equals 7. Alright, and then again, one more time, vertical line, bucks, x equals -5, and horizontal line, y equals -9. Alright, so again, 15, 16, 17 are just like the ones we did up at the top, where you need to first get it in y equals mx plus b. They didn't already give us an equation, so we have to write it in y equals mx plus b slope-intercept form, and then convert it to standard form. So these require you to do what you've been doing for the last, 3, 4 classes, and then convert it to standard form. Right. So again, remember that your homework is worksheet 12. Let me double check on that. Yep, worksheet 12. We will have a mini quiz on this next class, and as always, we'll answer homework questions and do a little warm-up over it first. But make sure you do come see us if you're still struggling with it and need some help with it.